guys, I hope you all are having an amazing time. Morning Buzzer is brought to you by Kellogg's Cornflakes, Cocoa Pops, and Indomie Noodles. This is that one show you do not want to miss for anything. Let us start your day with you. Today we'll be talking about an amazing topic, and our topic is the roles of youth in nation development. We're going to have an amazing time because we have a leadership coach and also a youth advocate in the building, in the person of Adebukola Olowoyeye.
Yeah, good morning, princess.
You
got that right.
I got it. I tried my best. I didn't want to pronounce it wrongly. So I took my time.
You got that right.
Yoruba is strong now. Don't try me. How are you doing, Adebukola?
Yeah, I'm fine. Thank you for having me. Good morning. Good morning, Nigeria.
It's an honor.
Yeah.
Please introduce yourself properly.
Yeah, my name is Olowoyeye Adebukola. I'm a leadership coach, a youth advocate. I'm also an entrepreneur. For now. Let me save the rest for last.
So today we're going to be discussing something very interesting, something very vital, something that a lot of people want us to discuss.
Okay.
And today we're talking about what's the role of youth in nation development. To you, what would you say is the role of youth in nation development?
Okay.
Let's start. Who
is a youth?
Who's a youth?
Okay, I like that question because sometimes some individuals, some citizens that are more than 60 will still tell you that I'm a youth at mind, that they might be old but they're still youthful in their mind. You understand? So, but averagely from the age of say 18 to 45 or max 50. Sometimes in Africa, in Nigeria, because of the delay, sometimes it's not well structured from secondary to university to trying to get a job. Sometimes we might have delay, so it might really pull you back a little in achieving what you're supposed to achieve. So sometimes you achieve what you want to achieve so late, and the age might extend to like 50, 55. But even if you're 60 and you're youthful in your heart, you're still a youth. Because every nation, 60% carries the strength of every nation. So if you are still 60 and you're productive, you can still address yourself as a youth.
60 and productive, you can address yourself as a youth.
Because you're still contributing to the GDP of your nation. So you're not like a liability to that nation. So you're still productive, so you can still call yourself a youth.
Okay, so now the question is, what's the role of a youth in our nation development?
In nation development, you cannot oversize the role of youth in every nation. In short, from America, North America to South America to Europe, every great nation you know today, go and check their history. Their development didn't happen without the youth because they are like the engine room of every nation. So most times when I get to discuss something similar as regards youth and nation development, I'm always excited because you cannot separate both of them. Because if your youths are vibrant, if your youths are energetic, they are energized, the nation building won't be a struggle. You understand? The growth will be enormous for every other nation to see. So I like the topic because I see a lot of gap here and there. I see a lot of potential here and there. I see a lot of mistakes from both the youths and their leaders. So most times I'm always anxious to talk about youth development as regards Nigeria, because there are a lot of things the government are not looking at, and there are a lot of mistakes the youth currently are not correcting. You understand? So if that synergy, if we can marry different synergies, I think our development shouldn't be far-fetched. You are very close to the promised land. If the government can take their role seriously and the youths can take their role seriously and we meet in the middle, I don't think Nigeria, it won't take up to 5 years before our development can be so pronounced. Let me use that word. So there are so massive roles, especially, I don't know where to start. Maybe I should start from the youth or I should start from the leaders. Choose one.
You should start from the leaders.
The leaders. Please choose one. Because I know he's going somewhere, so I don't want to go.
I know he's also. But since we're talking about the youth, why not let's start?
Okay, let's start from the youth. I often say this, and I like to be real. I like to be pragmatic with our youth. The truth is, Nigeria is growing at the rate of 6 million people per year. There is no how the federal government can create 6 million jobs for our youth if you want to be pragmatic. In practical terms, a nation that does not have good enough statistics, our censors are wrong. You don't know the number of people in Alimosho, in Kosofe local government. How do you plan for them? You understand? Universities are springing up every day. Colleges of education are springing up. Polytechnics, private, states, and just imagine the number of undergraduates that we're trying to produce as graduates. What are the relative jobs? So the jobs are not there. If I know the number of youths that are in Alimosho, I can tell you that, okay, when I get 20,000 graduates here, I can fix them into so those data, they are not available. So there is no how, except we want to keep crying and blaming our lot on the government, except we want to keep doing that. But if we want, if we get to that point where we will need to be truthful to ourselves, we have to tell ourselves the truth. And one of the things I usually tell graduates is that the formal education, you understand, cannot get you there anymore alone. The formal education cannot get you there. You need to start building other crafts. You have to start learning how to use your hand, how to use your mind, how to be creative, because that 6 million jobs that the government cannot provide, you have to stand in the gap and try to see how you can use your mind. Because I often tell people, you went to the university, you're supposed to have a universal knowledge of almost everything, how to create. So when you come out as a fresh graduate, the first thing you should be thinking of is how to be a plus to the society, not you depending on the government for the jobs that are not even there to start with. So as a graduate that have this universal mind, you should start to use your mind to think of what ways can I be a plus to the GDP? Right. How can I be a contributor, you understand, to the growth of my country? So it starts when you sleep and wake with such intentions. Before you know it, the universal mind will bring something together that will make you start to, even if it's one person you are employing as a fresh graduate with your fresh ideas. Sometimes people tell you that with all the ideas, if I have all the ideas, what about capital? The most difficult thing in life is to start. When you start, I can give you instances. I started my NGO without a kobo. I just started posting pictures. I just started saying things, and somebody saw it from the United States and I said, Buki, this thing you're doing, has it been registered? I said, no, it's just a drive within me. I go to Twitter, I go to Facebook, I wake up every morning, people curse Nigeria, people curse their country, and I just decided to be different, and I decided to send this positive vibe out there. And the person said, okay, you know what, take this money, go and register it. And that's how I started. Somebody said, okay, you can do this, okay, take this. You know, what if I joined the bandwagon to keep cursing, to keep blaming? I would just sit there and fold my hands. And the gift inside of me, the creativity inside of me would have been noticed. You understand? So I tell people, don't look at your environment, don't look at your educational background. If you know that something can be of benefit to you and your environment and humanity at large, start from there. When you start, the right people will connect with you. It's like a magnet. People will connect with you. And from there, I've seen people they just have the vision. They don't have the know-how. They don't have the capital. And today, they are employers of labor. Okay. You understand? So I tell you, don't try to, I know you have the bigger plan, you have the bigger picture, but the secret of patience is doing something while waiting. You have to do something. Don't just fold your hands and wait for the president to bring the door on your doorstep, bring the job on your doorstep and knock. There's a job right there. You have to go all out. You know, you have to empower your mind. You have to develop your mind, self-development on a daily basis. Those are things I tell you every day. Because to start to elaborate, Nigeria is not going to remain like this forever. It will get to a time we will be lucky enough to have transformational leaders, people that will just sit down one day and think that, man, I can do this and our youth can be empowered. Right. I can put this to work and this can be. Just imagine the Ajakuta State Complex in Kogi State. You understand? If that state complex is working to full capacity, it can employ close to 1 million people around that vicinity. You understand? So until you have such kind of transformational leader that will think outside the box, for now, youth should take their future in their own hands. Don't wait for anybody. Yeah, there's a gift, there's a talent you were created with. Just start to look within, look inside. you can do something that somebody, your next door neighbor, can benefit from. So I try to charge the youth first before we go to the government.
Okay.
You understand? So when you do your part, you have to do your part. Well, okay, the government, they are not even assisting. Infrastructure is not there and all that. We'll get to that. But for now, I want to charge every youth out there. Don't wait for your father. Don't wait for your mother. Don't wait for your father. Can only do the best he can do. Your mother can always do the best she can do. Your environment can do the everything starts and ends with you. It's your inner drive that will make all the difference.
You're right.
Thank you very much, Mr. Bookie. Mr. Bookie, my friend. So now my question comes to,
okay.
I've heard all what you said, you understand, and our viewers have heard that the whole, start from yourself. Do you understand?
Yes.
It starts with you and all of that. So now the role of the leaders, that's like a problem for us. Do you understand? We have a lot of charged up youths, like you're saying. We have a lot of, you and I know, when it comes to working hard, in as much as we have a lot of lazy youths, I will not even say a lot of, we have lazy youths. I won't use the word a lot. We have more people that are willing to work. When you talk about creativity, if you go on the internet, which you and I are,
I'm familiar.
Yeah, you see a lot of creativity in diverse ways. Do you understand? So now, on the role of the leaders, how can they help us to have a conducive environment when it comes to employment, when it comes to, like you said, these days people don't even wait for jobs anymore. Come on, if you're sitting, where are the jobs? Like you said, transformational leaders. Right. Before waiting for them. So, but how can these leaders, even if they are not transformational enough, how can they, help us with? We're not asking them for the plates. They should just shift the table a bit so that we can drop our plates. We already have our plates. There are a lot of people that have plates already, but the table is not there to put that plate on for them to even start feeding. Do you understand? So, how can these leaders, help close this gap to make the environment conducive? For a lot of creative people out there.
Okay, I mentioned something. I mentioned transformational leaders, but because we are not there yet, I don't want us to go that route.
Yeah.
What I want to start with is leaders with common sense. Yeah, let me start with leaders with common sense. You don't need a PhD to yeah. There's some things you can put in place. Sometimes I look at our leaders, I just laugh that you guys go abroad. You guys see the beautiful life out there. You come here, you cannot duplicate. You cannot mirror. You understand what you see there and show it, to your followers. It's not rocket science to know that if you go to National Stadium, go there and see the number of youth every morning that come out to either do one sport or the other or work out. You understand? If you put the National Stadium, I'm talking about infrastructures now. Yeah. If you put National Stadium in good working condition, that stadium will employ more than 5,000 people.